Now, the Obama campaign tells News 4 that others, prosecutors and sheriffs, are also part of the team, including some from the Kansas City area and from rural parts of Missouri. We're also told the Truth Squad is expected to include Jefferson County Sheriff Glenn Boyer. Live in Maplewood, John Mills, News 4.
John, thank you.
And we've got other newscasts out of St. Louis. I think that's closer to Kansas City. There's a whole bunch of these news clips. You can go up and watch them. We have an article up on Infowars.com titled, Tell the Truth About Obama in Missouri, Go to Jail. You can also call the Obama campaign yourself, and they say, yeah. We say when you're lying, no judge, no jury, no civil case. We just come arrest you. Now, Webster, you've got a list of serious issues with Obama and the fascism and who's behind him. But also, there's a lot of other examples of the intimidation and the thug tactics and people being arrested for criticizing Obama before.
Yeah, you want to go through a couple of those?
Yeah, let's do it.
It's a kind of a coincidence, but I got a report from a friend of mine, Greg Nixon, an investigative journalist in Burlington, Vermont. A week ago Sunday, in the pedestrian zone in the center of Burlington, Vermont, this is Obama country, right? Rich elitists, Howard Dean and company, and Bernie Sanders run the state. A guy is a graduate student in electrical engineering. He's not an incendiary. He's not a provocateur. He walks up to a group of middle-aged women who are doing a book table for Obama in the pedestrian zone. Now, in order to be there, you got to get a permit from the city. So he says, "What is this story about your man Obama being close to Zbigniew Brzezinski?" And they say, well, they get off. They don't want to answer that. The guy walks away. There's no incident. He walks away. He's about a block away. The police come after him. The middle-aged ladies of the Obama table have called the cops, telling him, perhaps under a program like this thing that we're hearing about in Missouri now, they tell him, you're under arrest for, they don't say for what, and the guy says, but you can't be serious, and then they grab him. They throw him in jail for 36 hours, and now he's got a court date. And I've sent you a press release about this, Alex.
Yeah, through that source, I'm going to get him on the weekday show coming up. But now it's not just that. We had this other gentleman saying that he'd done drugs with Obama, then he gets arrested. I mean, they're not playing games.
Let's talk about that one, too. I think that's a very egregious one. This is Larry Sinclair, is a gay man from Minnesota. And he, in mid-January, put up this tape on the Internet, which has been seen by many millions of people, that said, in 1999, I had 2 homosexual encounters with Obama. Obama carries his own crack pipe, pulled it out, and smoked crack cocaine. He came here to the Washington National Press Club.
By the way, Obama admits that he's done a lot of heavy drugs in the past.
Yes, cocaine and marijuana, but he says he never injected. He didn't inject. But Sinclair was here on June 18th. He gave his presentation in the National Press Club before he even left the premises of this temple of the First Amendment and freedom of the press. He was arrested on a fake warrant that had been hooked up by Beau Biden, the corrupt nepotist son of Joe Biden, currently the Democratic vice presidential candidate. Larry Sinclair was dragged off. He spent the next 4 or 5 days.
And by the way, it came out it was fake later.
In the D.C. jail.
We have fake arrests now. Please don't arrest me, police, when I leave here for talking about Obama. I mean, this country's gone, man.
Yeah, well, this is why Obama really is worse. I mean, McCain has all kinds of problems, I'd be the first to say. But I don't see this kind of enemies list operation.
Well, no, that's it. McCain will have no support. Everybody will hate him day one. The state will have no power. But you're right. The system loves somebody tattling. I mean, if a neighbor says they did something to their kid, no evidence, the cops will take it. You know, the child, but if I mean, why does the police state love having the citizens involved?
Well, because it gives them less cover. Just a couple of examples. Harold Simmons has got this group called American Issues. He's a rich right-winger, and he wanted to put some very useful ads on television about Obama and the weatherman terrorist bomber Bill Ayers.
And it really is true that he's neck deep in all these known terrorists.
Absolutely. Bill Ayers is a weatherman terrorist bomber, actually a cop killer, I would say.
And he's like, yeah, well, they bomb cops. And he's in business with them. He buys houses from him. He vacations with them.
Obama owes his career to Bill Ayers, who made him the head of the Chicago Animal.
But that's okay. The cops are going to love him because he's a cop killer.
This is all in my book, Barack H. Obama, The Unauthorized Biography. So when Harold Simmons puts these things on television, the Obama campaign writes to the Justice Department saying, we want you to arrest Harold Simmons and the people at this 527 group for criminal violations. We've already gone through Palin's email. We've gone through the Missouri case. WGN Chicago, this is very interesting. Milt Rosenberg is a former professor at the University of Chicago. He has a very intellectual, cerebral talk show at night. He has a guy on called Stanley Kurtz, who's a neocon from the National Review Online, and that guy has been going through the the Chicago Annenberg Challenge Foundation papers.
And that's the big gun grabber group.
They've just been, this is the Chicago Annenberg Challenge.
No, I know. I mean,
educational.
Annenberg CPB.
You're thinking of the Joyce Foundation. That's the one with the gun. Gun
Annenberg's involved in it, but go ahead.
Annenberg Chicago Challenge was a divide and conquer thing. They wanted to play the black parents against the black teachers union against the government.
Oh, you're talking about one specific Annenberg program. I understand.
Yeah, this is the Chicago Annenberg Challenge, which is.
And they wouldn't allow the documents to come out. Yeah.
They withheld the documents. Kurtz made a big stink about it with the help of others, including myself. He went there and went through the papers, and he wanted to go on this program. So there's a thing called the Obama Action Line that put out this emergency call, flood the switchboard, and do a denial of service attack on their emails. And when the Obamazoids got on the radio, they'd say, first of all, why is there nobody from the Obama campaign? And Milt Rosenberg said, yeah, we invited them. They're about...
Oh, yeah, that's the other issue. They want the fairness doctrine, which will shut down all these radio shows.
Exactly. I think.
And he said he's going to shut down the Internet as well.
With Pelosi,
but so is McCain.
And Obama,
God help.
We're going to have censorship. We're going to have political correctness under left cover with hate crimes and all the rest of this stuff. Anyway, they tried to shut down Milt Rosenberg on WGN. Let me also point out, and people maybe listening can confirm this, in Texas, for the Texas Democratic caucuses, as well as in the Iowa caucuses and in other caucuses, there's a whole book full of hooligan activities by the Obama campaign, locking people out, seizing control of caucuses.
Well, remember in Berlin, everywhere they said no one is allowed to have signs, even supporting him, so they couldn't have anti-Obama signs, and so there was no free speech there, and anybody who did pull another Hillary sign or Ron Paul out was arrested.
There's another dimension, which is Obama has 3 convicted felons that are his godfathers: Antoine Rezko, Al-Samari, and this guy, Nadkmi Auchi. Rezko is this gangster from...
And it is true his mother wasn't continually in the U.S. long enough to be able to have him in Kenya, so he is not eligible for the presidency.
Yeah, but that's the Berg suit. We get to that in a minute. But just these 3 guys, right? Auchi, Nadkmi Auchi has a lawyer who is threatening people, threatening websites, threatening investigative journalists. You're not allowed to tell anything about Auchi and his relations to Obama. Auchi is involved in the biggest single scandal in Europe, the Elf Aquitaine scandal, which is about $800 million of bribes and payoffs. Also involved in the oil for food scandal vis-a-vis Iraq. And Rezko, Rezko's now...
Yeah, everybody knows about Rezko and all the communists and the rest of it and the house swapping and the rest of it. But look, the bottom line here is you've got McCain mobbed up with his wife. You've got him Keating 5. You've got him saying use troops to confiscate guns. And I mean, McCain's really bad, New World Order, open border promoting, tax and spend guy. But, I mean, it is true. He is not the Hollywood type. He isn't, sexy, as the ad agencies say. And with this Obama, you literally do have a cult following. And anybody that I know, some of the websites that went after him have been shut down. What about you, Webster? What's happened to you?
I'm still here so far. But I would say that the criterion you have to use is, who has a fascist mass movement or reasonable facsimile thereof? It's Obama. McCain is a garden variety reactionary, nothing special, nothing out of the ordinary. Similar to Bush in many ways.
You're saying Obama could really have a Hitlerian dynamism.
He would be able to lean on a fascist mass movement of Kool-Aid drinkers and fanatics.
Yeah, well, I know this. He is a gun grabber, and I don't like him for that alone. We'll be right back. Talk bad about Obama. Get arrested. Stay with us.